Hello, everyone. Welcome to an all-new Loud Costa Talks episode reviews. My name is Nate. Alongside on my right is Omid. How you doing, sir? Looks like somebody's getting a little bit festive for today, for our weekend coming up.
Yes, I definitely am. As you can tell, you might notice a little something different about me, specifically what I'm wearing.
I'm wondering, where's
Well,
your red hat?
well, for obvious reasons. We're gonna get into why I'm wearing this particular hat. Um, but as of right now, I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be related to a big event that we're gonna go to this weekend.
Yes, exactly. And I think a lot of people already know by now. Omid, you're putting it up on your account and putting it up on my account. But yeah, we're going to D23, which we'll be talking about a little bit. But yeah, I guess the thing right now is that this weekend we've been hyping up about D23. But besides that, Omid, it was a 3-day weekend for you. How was Labor Day weekend for you, by the way? As our weekly checkup starts.
My Labor Day weekend was really chill. Of course, I spent my time with a friend of mine. On
Nice.
Saturday, we went to see a movie for National Cinema Day. We went to see Nope, and it was a rather interesting movie. I'm not gonna lie, it was rather
Hmm.
interesting. I know the plot gets a little weird, but
But
then
that's what
again,
Jordan Peele movies are. They always get twisted,
but like, but it's weird in a good way. Like Jordan Peele manages to like bring in this like this neo western combined with the horror
Mhm.
aspect and managed to make the movie work. So that's another thing. And then on Sunday we went to eat at a place and we went to visit our campus. We went to this new building. They built a library.
I saw that you went to back to your old alma mater to say and saw that new library.
Yeah, it
Okay.
looked nice. It looked beautiful.
How about your Labor Day? Wasn't Did you do anything on Monday, or you just chilled for Monday?
I did a little bit of last minute shopping for D23 Expo, but that's about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Okay, sounds good. For me, this weekend has just been hot. By the way, it's been too hot. Really couldn't go out anywhere. So I literally was just like on Saturday. Unfortunately, I wanted. Well, here's the thing. So on Saturday, we were supposed to have like this whole Disney party with my friends, my group of friends, where we actually made some like Disney dishes and stuff. I had like Mickey Mouse ice creams ready for them, but unfortunately, the host got sick and we couldn't be able to hold it at all. So it's like, well, the party's over, I guess, in this part. So I wasn't able to get a party happening. So what happened on Saturday is that I ended up playing golf when it was not hot at all. So it was actually really fun just to play a little bit of some golf here or there. But then yeah, Sunday was pretty chill. What did I do on Sunday? I think I was also shopping as well, just trying to get myself ready for D23. And then of course Monday it was Labor Day, but I was chilled at home just because it was too hot outside. Yeah, we never expect this kind of hot weather in the Bay Area to say. It's kind of crazy.
It's hot in Topeka.
Okay, Blue from the Super Imaginary Friends. All right, whatever. I mean, here's the thing now. We definitely are prepped up for this weekend, considering that we're going to D23. If you don't know what D23 Expo is, it's a Disney convention. We're going to be over there checking out all the biggest stuff that's happening there, from Marvel Studios to Star Wars to Disney, Walt Disney Animation to Walt Disney's next films to also Disney TVA. So there's a lot of things to talk about for D23. I mean, we already have our schedules all set up. You already have some paddles that are sure going, and I have some paddles I'm for sure going as well. So I'll go first this time around. But out of all the three paddles that I actually got into, one of them is the Disney video games panel. And I can't wait to see what that goes. I'm really hoping that they actually, well, look, they already announced Kingdom Hearts 4. So it tells me, like, okay, are we going to have a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer popping up for that? There's also Marvel games that are also going to be announced as well. So maybe this is going to be an Avengers 2. Not Avengers, sorry. Yeah, maybe an Avengers 2 or, whatever games they have. So, of course, me as a gamer, I'm kind of like really excited to see how that goes. But yeah, Disney Games Paddle, I'm for sure going into, so I can't wait to see how that goes. Omid, you have one that you can't wait to see. You apparently have tickets, lucky bastard.
Yes, I'm going to the big one, and it is called Disney's Epic Entertainment Showcase, the musical, the extravaganza. I think the name of the panel speaks for itself.
Actually, okay, here's the thing. That actually doesn't explain well because the thing is that when I was going for, getting tickets, it didn't really explain the fact that it actually had a lot of Disney stuff in it, like Disney Television, ABC, Disney Channel, Disney Junior, and then of course you have Disney TVA. So it kind of tells you that Disney TVA stuff are going to be announced, which means the possible Big City Greens movie is going to be announced when you're going to be in that panel.
I am praying for that announcement to happen.
And also another thing too, I hope the Hoon brothers are there. There have been rumors that said that the Hoon brothers are not going to be at D23. They're going to be in New York Comic Con next week. So I'm sad about that.
But... I was like, wrong con, guys, wrong con. What are you doing?
And the other thing too, how about Matt Brawley and Dana Terrace, the creators of Amphibia and the Owl House, respectively? They're not coming to the con.
They're in Mexico.
Yeah, they're in Mexico for some other con. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I made a big mistake somewhere.
Seriously.
I don't know. I mean, so far, I think that's all great. Obviously, there's some other panels I do want to attend as well, like Saturday at 10 in the morning, which is the big panel, which actually has the announcements of the next Star Wars projects or the next Disney projects. Obviously, Marvel Studios is also having their announcements as well. So if I can be able to make it to that, hopefully I can. That's the one I can't wait to see. Hopefully I end up getting in. And then, of course, your panel, if I can actually make it in, do the freaking line they have. And then, of course, Sunday, they have the... And then Sunday is a Disney Parks announcement as well. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Disney Parks. I love Disneyland. I love Disney World. I mean, they're going to probably announce something for Epcot, probably something new for Disneyland Resort. So, you don't know what the next couple of things are. Maybe they might take down an attraction in Disneyland, for example. Like, for example, Tomorrowland is shit right now. And I really do hope that they actually change it up a bit. I mean, the only things that they have is Space Mountain and was it Buzz Lightyear? So give me something more than just the give me something more than those two. Look, the Star Wars launch bay. I'm not a big fan of Star Wars. I'm not gonna really go in there. The Interventions was actually not bad. So can you at least like do something with that building or tear it down and make it to like a ride or something? I'm waiting for that. Hopefully by the Disney Parks panel we get to see the announcement that Tomorrowland is gonna change to this or that. And also one more thing, bring the People Mover back, please. There's so many things about Disneyland that I could say, but yeah, the Tomorrowland shit. I love Tomorrowland, but it's bad right now. The only thing that's good is Space Mountain.
Yeah, Tomorrowland is kind of like Tomorrowland's kind of bland right now. I remember Tomorrowland was actually really good. Like there was more in Tomorrowland. Yeah,
but I mean, there's a lot of other panels to check out, and the other thing too is, but yeah, D23 is going to be this weekend. We can't wait for it. I don't know if you've actually been noticing about my room, but I do have some cosplays that I've been working on. By the way, this room is a mess. I have a lot of stuff around working on cosplays and all, but I think you're ready right now.
First of all, at least your background has stuff. Mine's just like a white wall.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to your stuff, but if you know right now,
I'm not in my room. I'm in my other room.
Yeah, but if you noticing by now, I've been working on a certain project out here. If you know the shirt, you already know who I'm going to be cosplaying. So there's your one hint.
Yeah, and of course, the stuff that I'll be cosplaying. Well, actually, I'll announce it after you do.
Okay, sure. I mean, you already know this by now, but I already have one thing that I'm currently cosplaying on.
And I'm cosplaying the best friend of that character that you're cosplaying.
I know. All right, Anne, welcome. I don't know. Hopefully Brenda Song actually makes it. It would be pretty awesome if I actually yeah. And then last but not least, I do have this other thing that I have to cosplay as well on Saturday.
Yes. I like that. Make it rain, Nate. Make it rain. If
you don't know this outfit from the Owl House, then I have that ready. I have the wig all set up and all. So
hey Nate,
make
it rain. Make it rain.
Amazing. I'm gonna cosplay them. It's gonna be awesome. I really hope a lot of people actually know the Owl House. Actually, wait, they do because Anime Cons actually, they do well.
Like most of our audience,
they know Owl House.
Most of our audience does watch cartoons anyway, so chances are they know about it.
Right. But yeah, I'll be cosplaying Anne Boonshoy and I'll be cosplaying Rain Whispers only at D23. I also do have a couple of Disney-bound cosplays that I'll be doing over at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. So you'll see that on my Twitter. Make sure you follow my Twitter, if anything.
And follow mine. And also, I'll be cosplaying as Sprig Planter on Friday. But it's the Sprig Planter that dresses up in human clothes in season 3, where the planters are in Earth. I'll be cosplaying as that Sprig. And then on Saturday, I'm cosplaying as Hunter from Owl House, but it's the casual Hunter, where it's pretty much his basic clothes. And for Disney Bounding, Monday to Tuesday, I'll be cosplaying as Luz Noceda from the Owl House.
I'm actually doing some other things. I'm doing what was it from Cars, Lightning McQueen, Disney Bounding that.
Ka-chow!
Yeah, ka-chow. And then I have Hiro Hamada from Big Hero 6 the next day. So,
whoa, nice.
Yeah,
I remember.
People don't know about Big Hero 6, huh?
no. Here's the thing. I remember when you cosplayed as Hiro back in 2014.
Yeah, apparently I still have my old. I still have my old cosplay, but yeah, D23. I can't wait. These cosplays are about to be worn on that day.
Let's go.
It's gonna be fun. Anything else you want to talk about for D23? I mean, this is just going to be a whole week for us out down in SoCal.
Yeah, you may have noticed that I didn't announce a cosplay announcement for Sunday, and that's because it's Sunday. I'll be cosplaying as a Raiders fan, which I am, because it's NFL Sunday, first week. Can't wait.
I do. I mean, I'll wear my jersey, but I don't know if I'm really going to be watching. I still have a lot of panels to go to, okay? There's D23. I have to go to those.
I'm like, I'll go to the panels as well. Like, that's not during the game that my team is playing. You know, I got to represent, support my Raiders, so.
Right. I don't know. I mean, look, I know it's football Sunday, but it's also con Sunday as well, so we have to, you know, obviously enjoy the con if we can.
I'll enjoy a mixture of the two. I'll enjoy both. Why can't I have both? Both.
Okay, we'll see. All right, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, D23. So we can't wait for that. I definitely can't wait for D23. This is gonna be fun. Big convention. This is not my last convention for the year, by the way. I do have another convention coming up in November. Omid, I think it's going to be his last convention, though.
Yeah, chances are it is my last, but all I gotta say is cheers and a here to a big convention center we're going to this weekend. Woo!
All right. So yeah, D23 is coming up. Yeah, I can't wait. All right. Enough small talk. Let's talk about the Casa Grande's episodes that we're going to be reviewing tonight. We have 4 episodes that came out on the the 29th and July 29th and August 5th. So let's go ahead and get this started with the first episode that came out that day. The Worst Job. All right. So synopsis here says Ronnie Ann lands an internship on a lifetime with Bruno. But will she able to hang? Now, the episode begins with Miss Galliano pretty much saying, like, everybody's getting an internship. Sid is getting an internship with the inflatable man from the Mercado, while Ronnie Ann decides to go with Bruno, the hot dog guy. So when you first thought of this, how do you like the fact that that Ronnie Ann wanted to hang out with Bruno for an internship?
You know, this kind of reminds me of a certain Loud House episode in the past. Let me think. Oh, yeah. Intern for the Worst. When Lincoln and Clyde were having an internship under Flip. Only this time it's Ronnie Ann having an internship under Bruno. But it's much more bearable, first of all. And second of all, Bruno's actually more likable for starts. So, yeah, Ronnie Ann kind of has that advantage over Lincoln and Clyde.
Yeah, good thought there. I mean, I never really thought about the fact that Ronnie Ann was going to work with Bruno. To be fair, like, I'm kind of thinking, like, what internship would actually work out for Ronnie Ann? Like, could it be the Mercado, but he already knows the Mercado so much? Why not be a teacher like Mrs. Galliano? But, of course, nobody likes Mrs. Galliano for some reason. But, yeah, right. I mean...
No, I'm just kidding.
No, don't talk about that. But, yeah, it makes sense for Ronnie Ann to go with Bruno. The thing is that we don't really talk about Bruno that much, not referring to that song.
We don't talk about Bruno.
but we just always keep associated with Bruno with just a side character. Now we get to see them affiliate with each other, which I thought was actually interesting. I want to see how that goes. And yeah, Bruno and Ronnie Ann are now partners in their next line of work to say. So yeah, Bruno would hire Ronnie Ann, and they start the next day at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning, yeah. So it turns out Ronnie Ann has underestimated how hard work it is to serve hot dogs. Long menu to the high demand of long hours. It takes a lot for a kid, right, Omid?
Yeah, honestly, I love the part where Ronnie Ann is like, there's a 6 a.m. I'm just like, yeah, It's called adulting. Welcome to the club, sister. All right.
But then again, they're elementary kids. They're still in 6th grade.
Yeah, but anyway, what I do like is that when Ronnie Ann meets up with Bruno, he kind of has this secret hideout where he hides the card. Not only that, but he also has a tough competition against the other cards who are also serving other foods. And it was really interesting to see this interesting race to get to the best spot. Like I thought that was really sick race. Like honestly, it was kind of like, you know, like I want to say it was sort of like it's sort of like Mario Kart, but you know, food carts.
Like food carts, yeah, but
it's Mario Kart, but food cart. I'm surprised there was no red shell thrown at them or anything.
I would not expect that from this kind of card thing. But yeah, I mean, like for a hard worker like Bruno, it makes sense for him to work early by getting his cart and then going straight to the park to find the right spot. But for Ronnie Ann, it's like, oh, I thought it was just handing out hot dogs. So again, at an intern, she needs to actually cooperate with whatever Bruno's doing. So obviously 6 a.m. kind of is the way they work. And Ronnie Ann obviously doesn't wake up at 6 in the morning. I mean, to be fair, I've had that before where I literally wake up at 6 in the morning for work, and I didn't like that. Or actually, I wake up earlier than that, 4 o'clock in the morning before.
I wake up at I wake up at 6:45, which is still around the 6 territory.
So Ronnie Ann, don't complain. But then again, she's only like what, 13?
and also one more thing I like to ask is that one of the characters, like the pretzel guy, why does the pretzel guy look like he's a relative of Rosa's? I mean, look at that.
From the look, you mean?
He looks like he's Rosa's younger brother. Look at this. Look at the shape of the face.
I can zoom in.
Look at this. You got the big nose and you got like the fat watermelon shaped face. Look at that.
Oh my god. I mean, I didn't complain about that, but apparently Omid has a little noticeable face of like who Rosa is and all. No, it's not. It's not. It's just different characters. Shut up.
It's not complaint. It's just like an observation, kind of a theory. It's like, oh look, it's Rosa's younger brother.
So now we get to see Ronnie Ann at work, and it seems that the long hours are the ones that kind of kill her. Not kill her, but more like makes her tired and everything. Make sure, and just realizes that, oh, Bruno's not really the right kind of job that I want. Like, what were your thoughts about that? That Ronnie Ann kind of rethinks the fact that you had to wake up early, you had to do all these long hours to do the lunch rush and everything. Your thoughts on Ronnie Ann and how she was working that one day?
Yeah, honestly. Like, I do feel for Ronnie Ann because let's be honest, she is a kid, all right? She's an elementary school kid. It's not like she's a, mother who has kids to raise, bills to pay, mouths to feed. No, she's just a kid, all right? It's different with Maria, who has to provide for both Ronnie Ann and Bobby, so she works those long hours. No, Ronnie Ann, she's a kid. Let her live her childhood, you know what I mean?
I know, but at the same time, if you're like being an intern, you kind of want to follow the footsteps of the worker that's right there. So, yeah, Ronnie Ann definitely had made a mistake when it comes to this sort of work. 6 in the morning, learning the menu, and then the long lunch hours, for example. Like, she had to work through all of that.
I would have found a different internship, but that's just me. I'll be like,
okay. To be fair, I do like the fact that like she could eat a lot of hot dogs, like this, for example, or like a spicy hot dog, and all of this hot dogs. Ooh, yeah, it's quite a bit for her.
I know. Look at this. Look at this. Like Ronnie Ann does manage to have a huge appetite.
No, she doesn't have that appetite. She ended up being so.
She managed to eat all of these all these at once. It's kind of impressive, but then again, she did kind of bloat after that. So
I think the one thing that kind of hurts me is the fact that she had to work those long hours. The lunch rush actually turned out to be like from lunchtime all the way to like 6 p.m. So it makes sense why Ronnie Ann had to be really tired from that. So I felt really bad for her with it.
Look at her exhausted face. Poor thing.
Yeah, I mean, now it makes you understand that Ronnie Ann made a big mistake with the fact that she ended up with Bruno for the hot dog cart and all.
Yeah, hey, don't underestimate the hard labor that goes into a hot dog food cart, okay? Like just because some things may look simple doesn't mean they are simple.
Exactly. So after the long day of work and another day rescheduled, Ronnie Ann had this whole hot dog nightmare. Started out by serving hot dogs, then she runs away. Turns out to have a hot dog sausage herself. I don't know what the heck was going on with this nightmare, but I think it's just possessed in the head that she's a hot dog. Your thoughts on this little nightmare scenario here?
First up, I just got to say one thing. This is by far the craziest Wiener Schnitzel commercial I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. It is just, it's just so bonkers, I swear. Second off, I love the color scheme in this nightmare. Like you got like the vibrant purple, you got the light purple, you got this like weird colors, like a mixture of purple and pink. I love it. I love the color scheme in that. And also you got like with Ronnie Ann running away, like again, like a Wiener Schnitzel commercial. And then you see Sid flying up with Mr. Inflatable. Especially, I just love this.
I was freaking out. Look. I mean, the whole Sid and Mr. Inflatable little part is like a side story to this episode. But why was it actually dragged into this episode too? Like dragged into the dream also. So what? Sid's dream job to be Mr. Inflatable?
Look at that. Sid's literally the girl of Ronnie Ann's dreams. Okay, like Sidani fans, there you go. You were right. Sid is the girl of Ronnie Ann's dreams. Literally, we see it right there.
Yeah, this one kind of freaked me out because, like, yeah, I get it. Ronnie Ann's running away from her hot dog dream or whatever, the hot dog stand, and then out of all places, Sid would come up and just do this. That's so weird. That was really weird. Then the other thing too is that Ronnie Ann becomes a hot dog herself, and she's about to be served to Vito. That scene kind of freaked me out a little bit there too. Your thoughts on like that part there? I'm like, Ronnie Ann, don't die now.
Again, craziest Wiener Schnitzel commercial ever.
It was kind of crazy, like this kind of parts here. Nonetheless, I mean, Ronnie Ann did end up having a bad dream, but it makes sense, right? Why did she end up having a bad dream? It seems that she really had like it's not traumatic to say that she worked these heavy hours. I mean, I get it. Like she made a mistake doing this kind of stuff, but still, it's not good. The fact that she's realizing that, Bruno's job is actually not what I thought it would be.
Yeah, the kind of thing is that like nightmares like this do come from stress. It comes from the stress from the hard work and from the long hours itself. Like, trust me, like there were a few times where I've had those, nightmares from, having stressful jobs. So I do relate to her in that sense. So I do like how the episode does nail it. It really does tackle the subject of stress from hard labor, hard work, and especially from the perspective of a kid who's working said hard work.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it made sense why Ronnie ended up getting this little nightmare, but still, the nightmare scene was just kind of crazy. So yeah, after waking up, Ronnie Ann decides to call Bruno to tell him that she can't make it to work the next morning because Bobby broke his leg or something, and she had to take care of him. So it's a lie to get out of the shift. What are your thoughts on Ronnie Ann lying in this scenario here?
Like, okay, first off, while I don't necessarily approve of characters, lying themselves, obviously, I'm going to be honest, I do understand why she had to take that route. I do understand where she's coming from by making that excuse. I just have to ask, why didn't Ronnie Ann just call in sick instead? Instead of saying, oh, Bobby broke his leg, I honestly, if I were Ronnie Ann, I would have just said, I'm sick, I mean, it hasn't stopped Ronnie Ann before. She's pretty much pretended to be sick before in order to watch the wrestling show to skip out on her Uncle Carlos's speech. So honestly, what's stopping her from calling sick again? It would have been much more effective, right? And also, what if Bruno did see Bobby and then Bruno realized, like, ay caramba, Ronnie Ann lied to me. Like, that sort of thing.
So my thing is that I understand that this is a good excuse for Ronnie Ann to just get out of it. So yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you can to get out of the situation. And I understand Ronnie Ann's point just because it just stressed her out way too much that she doesn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to get to, to do all this hot dog work. She literally like called him up like 5 a.m. and just said, hey, I gotta take care of my brother, then went back to sleep. So she ended up getting fully rested and all. So yeah.
There's a 5 a.m.?
Yeah, there's a 5 a.m. So yeah, Ronnie Ann discovers that her family, they actually went to the hot dog eating contest where Bobby is competing. But since Ronnie Ann lied to Bruno about Bobby's broken leg, she had to make sure Bruno doesn't see Bobby. So I love the fact that Ronnie Ann actually did something to Bobby, saying like, "You're allergic to hot dogs. You can't compete," and then Bobby just believes her. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this with Ronnie Ann just trying to get Bobby out of the contest?
Like, how does Bobby immediately believe that, oh, he's allergic to hot dogs now, despite the fact that, like, didn't we see him eat hot dogs before in this episode, in the series? People in the comments, you can feel free to let me know, but it's just weird how Bobby, like, immediately believes what Ronnie Ann says, despite the fact, like I said, he's eaten hot dogs before, right? It was just so weird.
It was, yeah, pretty interesting, little weird in the scenario there. But look, I understand that part here where Ronnie Ann pretty much said, like, I can't have Bobby let Bruno see Bobby, or else, you know, it tells you that Ronnie Ann lied to Bruno. But you know what? It's kind of interesting because this plan actually worked, considering that Bobby did not actually enter the contest at all.
Yeah, I know.
So it worked out in the end. So
she got lucky. She got lucky,
yeah. So after seeing how Bruno has been struggling without Ronnie Ann's help, she had a change of heart, decided to come clean and apologize for lying. So the two of them would actually team up to make sure the hot dog contest actually goes smoothly and that Bruno has the help he needs. So this whole fact here, Ronnie Ann apologizing to Bruno, it actually came first because Bruno was struggling, considering that she has to make a lot of hot dogs for all these contestants. And to be fair, everybody was actually doing pretty well eating the hot dogs, considering like you have so many people like, what is it? Mr. Inflatable for one. And you have, all you gotta do is just put it down this hole and then you win. What?
Yeah. What? And then you had Vito, who was somehow trying to cosplay as Superman.
Like, no, apparently he's a hot dog eating superhero. Like, I'm guessing from the back in the day that he ended up winning like all these hot dog contests. That's the reason why he wanted to come back and eat and be a part of this hot dog contest.
Was he? Oh, hot dog man, sausage man, right?
I don't know. But yeah, Vito was one of the contestants. You also get to see Hector as a contestant as well, and you also get to see Mr. Inflatable. I don't know why Maybelle was part of the eating contest. All she did was eat a mango. She didn't even eat a hot dog. So like, what's the point of having her there?
I don't know. I guess she wanted to be like the center of attention or something like that, or she wanted to be like the troll of the contest or something.
So yeah, I don't know. And here's the thing. Now we get to see the three of them like compete. It would be Mr. Inflatable, Hector, and Vito. And the thing is that they're eating so much that they need to make more hot dogs. But unfortunately, obviously, Bruno can't do it all by himself, considering that he has a lot of condiments to make, a lot of hot dogs to make, and to toss it out to everybody. So it makes sense how he's struggling right now without any help.
And I love how at one particular scene, like right before the hot dog eating contest, you see Ronnie Ann and Mr. Inflatable like waving their arms like,
yeah,
that was really cute.
I thought
that was really cute. But yeah, look at this. Bruno's been struggling. Like, oh my gosh, poor thing. Good thing Ronnie Ann came in to apologize and to help. That was really awesome of her.
I got to go next because, like, literally, like in the next scene, Ronnie Ann comes in and says, "I apologize. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that my internship really needs your help and all." And then from there on, they start to actually work together as a team and actually get the contest rolling. So again, really cool, awesome work from Ronnie Ann to apologize and actually make up and make Bruno and Ronnie Ann work with this hot dog eating contest and not become a laughing stock for Bruno.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this. Look at this. They high-tongued each other. They high-tongued each other. Look at this.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's equivalent of a high five, but high five but with tongs. So.
Okay, so here's the thing. Are you surprised that Mr. Inflatable ended up winning it?
Yeah, I kind of expected Vito to win it all, considering that Vito
I thought so too, because he ended up actually like training for it. I mean, you had Samir, literally, doing all this literally like writing down all these like things because he's interning for Vito, and then he ended up becoming this superhero hot dog eating thing.
Hey Vito, how's it feel to lose to an inflatable dummy thing, right? Like, look at this. Inflatable is the champion. Look at that.
Mr.
Congratulations
Inflatable.
to
I mean,
Mr. Inflatable.
all he's doing was just literally putting what Sid is doing is literally putting hot dogs in the hole in his hole. That was it.
I know Sid Chang is definitely employee of the month material. Let me tell you, like she's definitely getting promoted for sure.
So unfortunately, on the other hand, Mr. Inflatable did burst because of all the hot dogs he ate.
Moment of silence for Mr. Inflatable.
Okay. So yeah, the contest and Mr. Inflatable winning it all. The announcer would give a shout out to Bruno and Ronnie Ann, and best of all, Bruno makes a special hot dog called this Ronnie Ann dog. It had everything in it. So that Ronnie Ann loves, and it's pretty much like a good way to end the episode, considering that this is the end of her internship, and it turned out that Bruno and Ronnie Ann turned out to be really good co-stars together. So what are your thoughts on this ending here?
Oh my god, it is just so wholesome. Like the way Ronnie and Bruno pretty much conclude their internship. Like, look at this. You got this whole father figure, daughter figure body thing right there. And then, of course, when Bruno shows Ronnie and the hot dog, she pretty much is in happy tears. Like, she is in happy tears when she sees the hot dog. It's this perfect chili cheese dog with purple pickled onions, mango relish, and lots of jalapenos. Just like Ronnie and herself, the hot dog is sweet and bold. My heart, man.
I think no doubt about it. This definitely is an awesome
She's
way
crying.
To end the episode.
She's crying. Happy tears.
She's in tears. Yeah, but it is definitely like a good way to end it, considering like Bruno and Ronnie Ann definitely do have like some sort of teamwork here in the end. And no doubt, Ronnie Ann definitely felt really happy the fact that she ended up having a hot dog named after her because of all the internship work that she did with him. I
love it, man. I just love this. It's just. Like, it's making me feel Ronnie Ann right now. Like, I'm literally feeling Ronnie Ann right now. I've got happy tears too. You know?
I mean, to be fair, yeah, it was. I would say this, like, it definitely was pretty good to see the end of the episode like this. But yeah, anything else you want to bring up from the worst job?
Yeah, honestly, worst job, more like best job. Like, honestly, I really like this episode. It's definitely a much improved version of Intern for the Worst for sure. And also, Ronnie Ann gets a good look as to what adulting is really like.
she'll learn better. I mean, Lincoln and Clyde both had their internship with Flip, and that didn't work out to say.
Yeah, but at least they didn't have to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, still, this is pretty cool for Ronnie Ann to actually get an internship with Bruno. It looks like they are good working together. And the other thing too is that, hey, we have more Bruno, so that's awesome. You get to see more of like this guy in the hot dog cardinal.
Yeah. So hey, we do talk about Bruno.
Oh, and one more thing I also want to bring up: is Sid just going to have a job being Mr. Inflatable or something? Is this why she did this internship?
Yeah, honestly, look at that. Like Sid Chang, like let me tell you, she's got a good career ahead of herself. You know, as
yeah. All she was doing like throughout the episode was doing like whatever Mr. Inflatable was doing. And the other thing too is I think Mr. Inflatable is a real thing, because with all the things that Mr. Inflatable is doing, it's like okay, we're just making him a real person, just like Mr. Coconuts from the Loud House.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna say this right now. Like Mr. Inflatable is the best boss ever. Like I wish all bosses were like Mr. Inflatable.
I will see how that goes. All right, but I got nothing else to say. I mean, how would you rate the worst job?
I would rate this an 8.5 out of 10. It's not a perfect episode. Like I said before, there were just a couple of small issues, not big issues, just things that could have been done better, slightly better, like have Brian call in sick, and also Bobby all of a sudden thinks he's allergic to hot dogs now. Come on, I think even Lenny if she were in that position, she would have been like, no, I call crud on that. But other than that, though, like I said, like just like Bruno's hot dog, it is definitely worth consuming. It's definitely something that is well done.
My thing here is that I actually do love this chemistry between Bruno and Ronnie Ann. You don't really see them, You don't really see them work together a lot for the whole time. All that Ronnie Ann is doing is pretty much getting Bruno's hot dogs. And there have been times where Bruno actually became helpful, like Bruno was Hector's friend. Also, Bruno also helping out with in the train, for example. So to say the least, like we need to have like one episode where Bruno actually helps with the main character, and that's where Ronnie Yan comes in. I felt like they're awesome together as a team. I understand Ronnie Yan had that whole issue when it comes to waking up early and doing all the things for a hot dog guy, but she knows in the end that because of helping each other out is the reason why he's failing over me not helping her Bruno out is the reason why why he's failing. So now I understand what the internship's for. I need to be the one person to actually help out the hot dog guy. It kind of sucks that there won't be a teamwork that's going to be happening after this, because I know this internship is definitely worth it for Ronnie Yan. But yeah, I can't see how it goes. Hopefully we get to see more. Well, I don't know if we can, but more Ronnie Yan and Bruno chemistry or something like that to at least have them team up, and more Bruno episodes if we can.
Yeah, but honestly, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. Honestly, just like Devani and Hot Dog, this episode is sweet and bold. See you in the Loud House, Bruno.
Don't talk to me about that. But yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10 as well. There's some flaws here or there. But yeah, 8 out of 10 for me too for The Worst Job. All right, from there on, let's head over to the episode that also aired right after The Worst Job, called The Sound of Metal. Synopsis here says, dreaming of DJing at the Gatos halftime show, Carl goes undercover with Alexis and the school band. So the episode begins with DJ Carl literally DJing in his school, but nobody's actually watching except for Alexis. So he then plays his tuba and then let Carl know that the junior band is actually performing with the Gatos at halftime, which actually gave an idea for Carl to actually join in and actually have his DJ set, become so popular. Again, skeezing Carl coming in again. What are your thoughts on this beginning scene here? Because it feels like Alexis and Carl were teaming up, but it seems like Carl's actually taking advantage of this.
Yeah, honestly, first off, I just gotta say, I love Alexis. I love that little guy. Like, he's pretty much the Butters of the Casa Grandes.
You call him Butters? Sweet. What?
Butterscotch from South Park. He pretty much reminds me of that. Like, he's sweet, he's supportive, he's so innocent, and also like just by the fact that he has this innocent nature to him, and he's pretty much the only one that's watching Carl and supporting Carl. It is just like, oh my god, that is a bromance right there. That's a bromance.
Yeah, you know what? We never see a lot of like episodes with Alexis and Carl, but the other thing too is that I've been noticing this a whole lot now. Is Alexis having more episodes? I mean, there's an episode where Carl actually helps Alexis out. And now Alexis is actually here to help Carl out and actually help him join the school band, for example. So I love the whole back together here. It looks like they're really good friends in the Casa Grandes. But then there's also, like I said, the whole skeezing part where Carl thought about, joining the school band, but for a better reason, because he wants to like have his DJ, have himself be popular as a DJ. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, honestly, it's typical Carl scheming stuff. Like, of course, he's going to have like an ulterior motive behind it. Of course, he's going to use Alexis to his advantage and all that stuff. Of course, it's going to happen. Honestly, like this episode, again, follows the typical Carl Casagrande plot formula where he pretty much cooks up a scheme. He cooks up a scheme, right? And then he pretty much... he makes the plan almost work, but then it comes crashing and burning. Like, and then everyone gets mad at Carl. Carl feels bad. Carl makes these right. All's well that ends well, right? Like I said, it's the same, numbers, like beat by beat. So honestly, it makes this episode rather feel predictable.
I'm kind of wondering because we always keep seeing like Carl having nice episodes where he was actually helpful. Then we get to see Carl doing, some backstabbing, and some selfish episodes. So it's weird, like in these last Casa Grandes episodes, that we get to see a lot of Carl, from nice to evil to, skeezing to backstabbing. And I'm like, what's the real Carl? Is he just everywhere? All kinds of person to say?
Now, honestly, it's not the fact that, Carl isn't nice in this episode. You can manage to make a scheming Carl episode and make it legitimately interesting and engaging and stand on its own. Like, for example, Rookline and Seeker. Rookline and Seeker managed to stand out as possibly the best scheming Carl episode because they did something new with it. They did something original with Carl's scheming personality.
Yeah. So I mean, that again, like, you know, we just keep on seeing a lot more Carl episodes. I understand a lot of people don't like the whole synopsis here of getting like more Carl episodes, but I don't know. I just feel like every Carl episode that we see, we always get to see, have to always like guess which Carl are we going to see now? A person that's nice or a person that's like mean? And to be fair, like 75% of the time, we always get to see him mean. So it's like, whatever. I guess we'll get to see Carl become like a selfish boy or something. So yeah.
And also Sidekick and Chicken was definitely one of the better Carl episodes too. And that had Carl.
But then he was selfish as well, because he was like taking down, what was it? He was doing whatever it takes to take down like what was it, the sidekicks like Pandalade and Tuba Boy.
Yeah, but like I said, they managed to mix in the superhero aspect with the Carl Casagrande aspect. So like that itself, I really do admire. And also Pandalade is what managed to make this episode rank higher, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's move back to the episode here. So yeah, Carl comes up with an idea to scheme his way to the halftime show by telling Alexis to be the headliner. He also cooks up the scheme with Sergio to get in the band so that he can take over as the DJ. So again, the shenanigans come in again. Man, this Carl plot formula, are you getting tired of it, by the way? Is it just going to continue on with more of these Carl episodes or what?
Oh, trust me, it has been past its prime like a season ago, in my opinion.
I just hope we get to see more nice Carl. But yeah, I mean, throughout this whole part here, we get to see Carl just try to play instruments, and she tries to play, for example, the oboe, and it turned out to not work out. Look, he's doing his best to at least play some instruments. So he tries the oboe out, he tries other instruments out, like a trombone, a saxophone, and even the drums, and it all didn't work out in the end. So to say the least, Carl's not really a good band member. So what are your thoughts about, you know, the Carl trying different instruments?
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather, like, honestly, he makes Squidward look like a professional clarinet player by comparison. Just look at that. Carl is not a band member at all. He's not a band geek. He's not a band.
No, he's
geek.
not. No, sorry, he will not join Squidward's band, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, throughout this part, we get to see Carl try the trombone, and then we get to see him play the. We get to say play the trombone. Didn't work out for him as well. We also get to see him play the saxophone, and didn't work out as well. And then also the drums too. Yeah, it's not been working out. And by the way, if you've been noticing these last couple of scenes, that kid has got hurt really bad. That's the running joke of the kid getting hurt from Carl's like misplay. How do you feel about the kid there?
Yeah, honestly, I feel bad for the guy, like for this kid. Like, honestly, he's like that one employee from Burp and Burger that you see in the wheelchair. He's pretty much like that guy.
Okay, but he didn't get as tortured that much compared to that kid, because he literally got like trombone on with the hammer. He literally got pooped on with the saxophone. And he also got like his head stuck in the drum. So it's like, oh god, the kid is so bad. I'm so sorry to him.
Jeez, like that, he just can't catch a break, can he?
Although, to be fair, he did end up with one instrument, the triangle. What was your thoughts of him just getting that? So at least he plays the triangle to get into the band. So, good. The plan worked, I guess.
Yeah, it's the most basic instrument you can think of, but it's still better than nothing.
True. So now Carl is now in the band, but there's a sinister plan underneath, or rather on his big fat hat. He has Sergio take over the announcer system and mess with it too early on account of Carl's signal, which he accidentally gives because of a bee was messing with him. So Carl tries to tell Sergio to stop, but it's too late. A lot of things happened in this scene here. So let's actually start off at the beginning here, because Carl's little misgiving plan is happening right now. Yes, I get it. He has a big tall hat, but we didn't get to see that Sergio was actually underneath it. So Sergio's about to like come in and ruin everything. This again, the teamwork between Carl and Sergio, you already know this is just going to be all bad.
Yeah, but honestly, like I said, it's one that, of course it's going to happen. Of course they're going to plot up a scheme. Of course it's going to go awry. It's what happens. Like, it's pretty much the most basic Carl Casagrande episode you could think of.
Right. And then we also get to see Sergio. Well, look, I mean, the band themselves, they're definitely like prepped up to play. But unfortunately, Sergio was the one in the back, literally just trying to mess up stuff. I mean, literally, he pulls out a ant farm and just take down the announcer. So this already tells you that this is going to be like a bad plan happening right now.
Yeah, and then Sergio manages to take over the microphone and everything, but even he managed to screw that up. Well, I wouldn't really fault Sergio on this. It's more like, Carl with the B and all that stuff. Like, Sergio was just following his command.
Yeah, and he was doing all this kind of actions to say, but to be fair, like, they were all performing well. That is until he saw the signal. But unfortunately, they weren't even playing at all. Literally, he just waves 3 times, and because of a B, that's literally bugging him. And unfortunately, the whole DJ set comes in.
Yeah, and that's when things end up in a massive disaster. That's when things look bad for the band players, and the whole halftime show was ruined thanks to Carl.
So my thing here is that, I mean, look, this plan definitely is flawed. He definitely got his plan, though. He ended up being the DJ, but it turned out that the band never performed at all. So to say the least, the plan kind of worked for Carl, considering that DJ Carl is apparently popular in the Gatos game, but the band definitely didn't have their chance to play. So how disappointed are you with the fact that Carl did this kind of stuff?
I do give credit to Carl for like initially feeling guilty about this after the band got mad at him, and for good reason too. And not only that, but later on, he also manages to try to make it up to them by pretty much having Carl cook up Escape for the Good this time to have the band get another chance to play.
Now, I gotta say this, though. I mean, literally when all this whole mayhem starts to, subside and all, where you get to see DJ Carl's set pretty much finish. And of course, you get to see like all the bandmates disappointed, especially Alexis. I feel so bad for Alexis, considering like, oh my God, I trusted you, Carl. Why did you do this? Why did you do this behind my back? This part definitely took me. I'm like, oh, Alexis, I'm so sorry.
The tears,
Carl had to be that angry. Carl definitely made you angry. I understand.
Man, the tears, man, the angry tears. Carl's just jealous because he doesn't have the abs that Alexis does.
Don't talk to me about that. Oh God, I was gonna bring that up later.
So that's how he can carry the tuba so easily.
That's how he can carry a tuba. It is a lot of core, I guess. No, but to be fair, I'm like, wow, I get it. Carl definitely. Well, here's the thing. Alexis definitely brought the idea for Carl to be in the band, and the fact that it definitely backfired on Alexis obviously made him so disappointed. So it made sense why Alexis definitely was so angry at Carl.
Yeah. And I wouldn't blame him.
So the other thing too is that, the band is of course disappointed with Carl, but the other thing too is that, look, Carl will try to at least make them happy again. So what happened was Carl actually did something to the players by actually keeping them into their locker rooms, which gives the band enough time for them to perform. So what are your thoughts on this part here, where Carl was doing whatever it takes to make sure the band, does well? Does actually have the performance in the halftime show.
Yeah, so apparently in order for them to perform in the halftime show again, what Carl does is that he pretty much has the football players like locked in the locker room, and he tries to hold the door, but then by the time the band does play, the football players manage to get out of the room and then start chasing Carl back and forth. It was just really hilarious to watch, honestly. And it's by the simple fact that I do like the change of heart that Carl does have, because let's be honest, it's kind of a risky move for him because he would end up being pummeled to death by the football players themselves. So.
But besides that, I mean, my thing that kind of I like about this part was the fact that Carl knew that he made a mistake. So he literally goes up on a chair and literally just makes it a motivational speech for every like sports team out there. I don't know if you've been into sports teams, but they have their coaches that say like, let's get out there and perform again. Let's go out there and do 100%, that kind of thing. So I love how Carl just like stands up and said like, hey, we're not losers. Let's get back out there and perform. I'm going to find a way for you guys to perform. So definitely a step up for Carl. Yeah, definitely a step up for Carl.
That's the other thing I noticed. Yeah, it does have that sports coach, energy to it. I like that.
Yeah, it definitely have a good step up for Carl. So then again, Carl did do the whole thing of like keeping the players in bay. And of course, it definitely hyped up the band. And they actually do end up having the performance without Carl because Carl was definitely chased by the players. Look. Yeah, and the other thing too is that, I get it. Like they actually did do the plan of holding off time, and then you get to see the band perform, and everybody definitely was cheering. So credit to Carl for doing this because it just tells you like, I know I made a mistake. Let me try to redeem myself. And I think from this part here, it tells me that he did kind of redeem himself by literally having them play in the quote longer halftime show and have the players still, locked up before having the second half come in.
Yeah, good on him.
So yeah, no matter what, the band ended up having a great performance. And yeah, looks like they're actually very popular. In the end of the episode, though, we also get to see that they actually liked DJ Carl, or AKA DJ Triangle. And of course, the band also does get some love as well. How did you like this whole ending here, where the band and DJ Carl actually ended up doing doing well?
Yeah, I really do like that collab. I really do like. Yeah, I do like the collab between DJ Carl and the bandmates. It's sort of like there's a lot of collabs that's going on in recent Casa Grandes episodes. Where you got 12 is Midnight with that classic musician guy, the one that's like Mozart. And then here you got DJ Carl and the school band.
I mean, to be fair, I definitely kind of like this whole ending here because it just tells me, like, look, Carl's not going to be by himself when it comes to performances anymore. Yes, I get it. I understand. He is still DJ Carl, but obviously you still want to give credit to the band as well. And I love how the bandmates ended up loving DJ Carl for his set and the fact that they still have fans considering, at the end of that halftime show, they ended up having, like, amazing fans, a lot of people loving them. So Carl's not getting all the credit. At least the whole band is getting the credit. And I think that's also pretty credible for Carl and Alexis and the whole band to perform like that. So yeah, props out to Carl for actually, making that performance and having them have their like 5 seconds of fame there.
Yeah, look at that. Like Carl already has a crowd of his own. It's not exactly a stadium crowd, but at least it's a small crowd. At least it's something.
All right. But yeah, the episode ends there. Omid, do you have anything else to bring up from this episode?
Nothing much really, except nothing much I want to bring up, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of want to bring up the fact that apparently Alexis is actually ripped. That was actually pretty surprising. I'm like, what the hell? You're ripped? Oh, wait a minute, you actually are carrying a tuba. So it makes sense for you to actually carry that big heavy thing around your like body. So you really do need the core for you to actually play the tuba. So that was pretty crazy.
And I like how Carl is sort of like checking him out too. It's like they're gay for each other.
Oh God. No, don't bring it up. And then of course, okay, so I do like this one scene here where Carl literally imitates her mom.
Yeah, he manages to pull off his mom to a T. It's like, yeah, because it does make sense because he is Frida's son, so of course he's around her often, so he knows how she works. I love
the whole words that he said too. It's like, oh, my mom literally took me like a while for me to take because of her to take pictures, and she's literally saying like, oh, I love you so much, you're so beautiful, blah, and then she cries like waterfalls. Dramatic Frida.
Not only that, he's a damn good impressionist too. Like he really does pull off Frida's voice to a T.
He definitely does. I thought that was actually pretty nice. Then again, it comes in the family too, so I'm guessing the whole family does this whole waterworks. So if Frida can do it, then Carlos and Carlota can do it. Yeah, you saw Carlota do it before in Pero Malo. So I guess it all runs in the family.
Yeah, I guess it does.
All right, I got nothing else to say about The Sound of Metal. Omid, let's go into our reviews. What are your thoughts? How would you rate The Sound of Metal?
6.5 out of 10.
Oh, a little bit disappointing. I didn't know you would actually put that.
No, here's the Sound of Metal, more like the sound of metal. Right? The sound of metal. Like I said, it's pretty average. It's pretty meh. Like I said before, it's your typical Carl Casagrande cooking up a scheme with Sergio episode. It plays the numbers. It plays every note. And I'm not talking about the musical notes for the band members. No, I'm talking about the notes beat by beat. And yes, that part was intended. But I do like the best part was the ending. Like the ending was really wholesome. And, Carl pretty much gave it the motivation like how a sports coach gives them motivation in the locker. And of course, Alexis is an adorable cinnamon bun who somehow has been working out in the gym. Like this little fella has a gym membership.
Because he's lifting that tuba, man. That tuba is heavy.
It's a mini Dwayne Rock Johnson, mini Dwayne Johnson here.
Yeah, I mean, the episode was actually all right to me. I really did hate the fact that Carl was doing this just to promote his DJ thing. But I love the fact in the end, though, when he made a mistake, Carl definitely popped up and said, hey, I know I made a mistake. I'm going to try to redeem yourself for you. And then it is kind of quick, the fact that Carl just like trapped the players and had the band perform. But nonetheless, he did have his goal. And in the end, he also does end up becoming DJ Carl. But yeah, I would say not bad of an episode. I give this a 7. I give this an 8 out of 10, actually. I think this was actually an all right episode. Yeah. Not one of the best Carl episodes, but I'd say not bad. Not bad for a Carl episode. All right. So let's head over to our next episode as we move on to the August episodes. And we started off with the first one that came out on that Friday called Alpaca Lies. Synopsis here says, Ronnie Ann and Bobby have to deal with an old friend of Arturo's, Beto the alpaca, but Beto has it out for the kids. Oof. Okay, so the episode begins with Ronnie Ann and Bobby and Arturo meeting Beto at the dock. Apparently Arturo has a history with this alpaca. Apparently, like, they're really good friends, or to say the least, Arturo definitely raised him up as a baby, and now look at him now as a big llama. But to be fair, when you first see him at his first impressions with the kids, it doesn't seem to be all great, considering that he literally kicked Bobby into the water. So what are your thoughts on this little meetup with Beto, this llama here, and alpaca, sorry. Beto, this alpaca, because it feels like he's just mean.
Okay, like first off, I just gotta say one thing. Like, to quote an awesome friend of mine, continuity, what's that? I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. Because wasn't it Bobby that was teaching Carl how to swim in a previous episode? Like, I don't know. It was just something that kind of bothered me because, like I said, it's sort of a continuity error in the episode. But man, I gotta be honest with you. Like, the continuity error in this, it is the least of this episode's problems. I kid you not. I'm just gonna say this right now. This might be a bit spoilerish, but I hate this episode. I freaking hate it.
Well, this is not gonna be good.
And here's the thing, though. Like, okay, Beto is a jerk, right? Like, and of course, Beto kicks Bobby like into the ocean. And you think that they would do something with this, right? You think that they would manage to somehow make that plot work, because there are ways to make that plot work, right? I mean, for instance, you could have Arturo actually being a competent parent and actually put Beto in his place as soon as the kids do tell him that something's going on between them and Beto, right? Right? Let's move on.
Okay, so I'll just gonna say this from scene to scene, because the fact that Beto got introduced by Ronnie Ann and Bobby, looked like it was all pretty nice and all, but then when Arturo turns his back, that's when you get to see Beto become like pretty evil. And like, I think this kind of sets the mood of like what this episode is gonna be, because this alpaca seems to be like a person that doesn't like, I don't know, it's weird because like Beto hasn't seen Arturo in so long, and now he's just trying to take it out on the kids. I don't understand what's going on here. Is it because Arturo didn't go back to Peru and they couldn't be able to see Beto? That's the reason why Beto is kind of like, oh, I miss Arturo. Why did Arturo not come back? Is it because he had Ronnie Ann and Bobby, and that's the reason why he's getting out on them? I was like, oh god, this doesn't look good. I don't know why this alpaca turned out to be quite evil to say. This is just you, like, why would an alpaca be this kind of evil? It just was so surprising. I was like, okay, nice meeting between alpaca and Ronnie and Bobby. It looked really nice at first, but then yeah, you get to see the evil side of this little alpaca here.
Yes, and honestly, like, you know what's interesting? What's interesting is that, like, you do see this kind of screenshot there before where you see, like, this dark purple background. You got this, like, shade of green, like, whenever character turns evil. Like, we see it with Bobby. We do see it with, later on, we do see it with Carl and all that stuff. I thought it was an interesting touch. I'll give it that. Just an interesting touch.
Yeah, interesting touch. It just tells you that they go to the evil side to say.
Now, I said before, Beto being evil by itself is not what makes this episode bad. Like I said before, there are ways that this episode can work. Like, let's see. Okay, like, do you think maybe, just maybe that, like Beto being a jerk to the kids, like Beto's being a jerk to the kids for the first 5 minutes of the episode, and then when the kids do reveal it to Arturo actually does believe the kids, and then Arturo decides to dump Beto, but then Beto comes back, like, for revenge against the 3 of them. Or maybe like Arturo does put Beto in his place, like, and then like Beto tries to get along with Ronnie and Bobby, tries so hard, but then he finds it difficult to because, well, he's an alpaca and they're kids. Like let's see, do either of these things happen? Do any of these plot lines happen? Does this episode, like, go in either direction? No, they don't. No, it doesn't. Like I said before, Nate, continue on. I got a lot to say.
Yeah, I know you have a lot to say, but I also have my words to say as well. But let's, again, continue scene by scene here, because we get to see them go to Arturo's house, but we also get to see Beto continue to, prank the kids, for example. Like, literally take down, what was it? You get to see Beto take down Bobby's pants to see his underwear. You also get to see Beto even spill popcorn at Ronnie Ann. This alpaca is a mess. It's kind of a little nasty little alpaca. So when you see these things happen, to Ronnie Ann and Bobby, I mean, it just tells you that Beto definitely is a bad llama or bad alpaca. And it doesn't seem that it's going to work out well, because, I mean, from that first shot, you get to see him evil. It just kind of tells you, like, this is just going to continue on, is it? Where Bobby and Ronnie are just going to keep getting tortured by this alpaca.
Yeah, and I feel bad for them. I feel really bad for them, because like they have to spend the whole day, like, dealing with this crap of the alpaca, like, all the while like their dad is, like, somewhere, like, too busy in La La Land to even notice to even pay attention to what's going on. Seriously? Like, okay. I'm just gonna say this. Now, when Ronnie and Bobby do tell Arturo that like Beto and when Ronnie and Bobby do tell Arturo that, like, Beto's been picking on Ronnie and Bobby, what does Arturo initially say? Oh, that's not true. He's such a sweetheart. Ronnie Ann, you made a mess of the popcorn. I'm just like,
oh, how can okay? So first off, like, does Arturo really love Beto that much? That's the reason why she doesn't even listen to her kids. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what kind of a dad are you? You're like the animal. You like take care of the animal more compared to, like, Bobby and Ronnie Ann.
One particular reason why this episode really frustrates me, it's not just because, well, here's the thing, Arturo is their freaking dad and he should know better, but it reminds me of 2 infamous episodes from cartoons I've seen in the past. Everybody knows it's Bendy from Fossil Soul for Imaginary Friends and A Pal from Gary from SpongeBob SquarePants. You want to know what these 2 episodes have in common? They both involve an antagonist who constantly picks on a character, but then another character is too oblivious to notice the abuse that's going on between the antagonist and the character that they're supposed to take care of. Like, honestly, this episode follows that plot line. It felt, oh my god, like, honestly, I would take a repetitive Carl Gas Grande plot formula episode over this kind of plot formula episode, because I swear, this kind of plot I cannot stand for the life of me, because it relies so much on characters like being dumbed down, being heavily dumbed down, and being stupidly careless just for the plot to work. Like, honestly, I'm just like, really, Casagrandes? You're going that route? I thought you were better than this.
You know what? I thought so too, especially with Arturo's treating their kids. Because considering like the continuing stuff that Beto continues on doing, I mean, it just tells you like Beto doesn't like the family themselves. I mean, there's this one scene here where Beto literally just puts himself every Casagrande except Arturo. So it's like, what are you trying to do? Brainwash Arturo to like like Beto a whole lot more, or to like Beto and Arturo and stuff? It just tells you like, okay, this alpaca is only here for revenge, not for like, you know, a visit or anything like that. So
yeah, exactly. And somehow Arturo's too blind. Arturo's too blind to even notice what's going on in this dang picture. It's like, Arturo, do not put two and two together. Do you not put two to, like, did you leave your brain? Like, did you leave your brain behind in Peru when you were coming here to Great Lakes State for a visit? What's wrong with you?
Although to be fair, they actually tried to show the picture to Arturo, but you also saw the alpaca eat the picture as well. So it's like, okay, so you can't do anything about it. The alpaca pretty much took the evidence and just ate it.
Yeah, but it could have taken just 1 second to just open his eyes and just see the guy's second picture, because he had the picture in his hand for like 5 seconds. Okay, it's not that short.
To say the least, though, I know this is just getting a little bit frustrating. The fact that this alpaca definitely is, you know, making a huge mess. I mean, he's literally giving Bobby a mess for sure. Man. Yeah. So, and it's weird considering that Arturo literally just goes away for a little bit, and then you get to see Beto continue to go wreak havoc with Ronnie Ann and Bobby by, like, for example, Bobby getting kicked into the sink, and then Ronnie Ann getting hit by popcorn to say. So yeah, this alpaca definitely is bad news.
Oh my god! Like, honestly, he makes Sergio look like the most lovable animal in Great Lakes City. I never thought that there would be an animal within the Loud Cosiverse that actually manages to be even worse, even more annoying, and even more detestable than freaking Sergio himself.
Yeah, and I thought we actually had you know, good episodes with Sergio. I don't know. I'm so confused right now. Let's continue on with this flow here, because we get to see that because of all this like pranking or this kind of like jerk moves that this alpaca is doing. Obviously, Ronnie and Bobby will try to do like we'll make some plans for to expose Beto for all of his like dirty deeds to say. So Ronnie had set up a plan for her to be like, say for example, be rescued in a fountain, considering like, for example, she was just walking through the fountain, and then you get to see Beto about to like push her into the fountain just because she's angry. He's always angry at Ronnie Ann. And then this whole plan where Bobby literally walks with Arturo to go to the fountain so that he could be able to see, Beto do the prank thing. And then he gets stopped by Bruno, and then unfortunately the prank still happened. So yeah, Ronnie Ann ended up in fountain. Oh god, this scene here just got me like, oh no, why would you do this to Ronnie Ann, you damn freaking alpaca?
You know, Nate, I'm actually kind of in the mood to buy a, you know, alpaca wool fur coat right now. I think a wool fur coat will look great on me. I'm just saying.
Oh, and the other thing too in this scene here is where Beto turned out to be the hero by rescuing Ronnie Ann. That I think was just like, okay, well, you kind of set yourselves up for that one, guys.
Yeah, come on, like Beto, you are no Crypto the Super Dog, okay? You're definitely no, you know, Secret Life of Pet. You're no Wonder Pet or anything. Come on.
Now the other plan that also pops up was where Ronnie and Bobby wanted to try to get like a recording of him doing the prank, doing the mean deed.
Super Pets is what I'm looking for. Pets.
But the thing is that because Bobby literally had a phone recording, like, was it Beto's every move, it's unfortunate that the phone actually does go buzz off and actually have Lori text messaging Bobby. But that turned out to be a flaw, considering that Beto would understand, like, oh, I'm being recorded. Oh, time for me to prank on him a little bit more. Again, they tried their best to at least expose Beto, but it doesn't work out in the end, and they end up being punished. in a bad way.
And also, I just want to say one thing. Dang it, Bruno! You were doing so well. You were doing so well in the worst job, but no, you actually had to. Hail Beto as a hero, which he is anything but. I'm just like, dang it, Bruno! You were doing so well. You were doing so well. And also, it's technically not Lori's fault, but dang it, you called Bobby at the wrong time.
Lori just literally called Bobby at the wrong time, or what he could have done was like put it in silent or something like that. In the end, Beto knows about the plan, and then he does this to Bobby's phone. So it's like, my phone and all that. And she even like screams out, Lori! Because he couldn't be able to communicate with Lori now.
Lori! Okay, like honestly, like I really hate this episode, but a few of Bobby's lines are pretty much like what, like I really do like a few of Bobby's lines. They do manage to get a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing now is that the plan is continuing to fail for them, but now they have one more plan at hand. It's where Bardian and Bobby push Beto to the boat to finally get rid of the pest once and for all. But then Beto would get freed, and then he gets kicked into the water. They both get kicked into the water. This plan here, okay, look, I mean, it is a desperate move where you get to see Ronnie and Bobby literally just push Beto into the boat, or pull Beto into the boat. But in the end, they still end up getting pushed into the water. It was like, oh God, okay. This, like I said, this alpaca is definitely bad news, but I feel bad for Ronnie and Bobby considering that they have to deal with this pest.
They have to deal with this pest while dealing with an oblivious dad. It's pretty much, it's pretty much like, it's pretty much what, how should I put it? An oblivious dad and a pest. It's pretty much like two negative things in one. It's pretty much a, 2-in-1. It's not a good combo. Not a good combo at all.
Yeah. And it's because of this. It's the reason why Ronan even said, I'm not going to go to Arturo's house, my dad's house anymore, considering that Beto's going to be there. And that led to like Ronan being in tears, and of course Bobby being disappointed as well. So this leads to a bad move, saying like, I can't visit my dad anymore because of this alpaca's in the house. I'm like, oh no, not good.
Actually, it is good, because I'd rather have Ronnie and Bobby spend all the time. Because I'd rather have Ronnie and Bobby spend like much more quality time with family members who actually do care about them, who actually do provide for them, who actually would listen to them, who actually would do something about this godforsaken alpaca, rather than an oblivious dad who has never paid for child support, has been absent from their lives while in Peru, and like isn't much better in Great Lake City because he's too oblivious, he's too in love with an alpaca to notice that his dang kids are getting tormented in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is that they don't really actually bring the attention to Arturo until, later on in the episode. But to be fair, they're doing whatever it takes to make sure this alpaca gets caught. And luckily, they actually do get him in the action, because when Ronnie and Bobby did end up going back to their abuela's house, when Rosa intervenes and turns on the TV for the news, the fact that Ernesto Estrella actually is in the town. Apparently, when the news actually recorded, or was it Ernesto Estrella, just having fun over at the pier, the news actually recorded Ronnie and Bobby getting, hit into the water. So your thoughts on that? Now they actually have evidence to show to Arturo.
Yes. Honestly, I love this. I love the fact that like Rosa fangirling over Ernesto. Like, that was a nice touch.
I mean, it tells you the continuity is there, that she loves Ernesto Estrella. So whenever Ernesto Estrella comes up, obviously
you see the background, Ernesto kicking Ronnie and Bobby. I'm just like, good. Now they have to show it to Arturo, and then Arturo has to take a single glance at this and then think to himself, wow, that alpaca sure is a jerk. I can't believe I was friends with him. Okay, Ronnie and Bobby, I am sorry for not listening to you earlier. Let's go bring his alpaca butt back into the boat. Does he do it the first glance? No, he doesn't. Oh my God. This scene, like, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this line, I swear, my blood was boiling all the way up. Like, oh my God. It is one of the worst lines I've ever heard in television history. Like, oh my God. As soon as they sorry.
Dan, you're about to choke yourself.
as soon as they show the evidence to Arturo, what does Arturo say? What does Arturo say?
It could be any alpaca.
That could be any alpaca. I'm just like,
like you really gotta be that dumb.
oh my god. I'm like, okay. First of all, Mr. Father of the Year. If that was any other alpaca, don't you think you might have noticed it in Great Lake City Zoo? First of all, okay. Second of all, your dang kids just got kicked into the ocean where they can't even swim, and that's your first reaction? Are you kidding me? Like, oh my god! Like, honestly, like it's just as I said before. Did you leave your brain? Did you leave all your empathy? In Peru, when you went to Great Lakes,
do you even care what your kids are listening to? I mean, come on. I don't know how big the love was for Arturo and Beto, but I don't understand why Arturo continued to like Beto more compared to like Ronnie and Bobby. I'm thinking like because he meets up with Ronnie and Bobby a whole lot here in Great Lake City, that he definitely misses his alpaca in Peru. That's the reason why they visited. But I do hate the fact that this alpaca is treating Bobby and Ronnie Ann so badly. It's just the fact that, like, why are you honoring Beto a whole lot more? It's because you miss him so much. Is this the reason why you're not doing the same thing with Bobby and Ronnie Ann? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good to say because Arturo is just like some weird dad in this case here.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna say this right now. This is gonna be towards Arturo himself. Arturo Santiago, I'm going to be honest here. I never liked the fact that you stayed in Operation Dad. Not because I didn't like you in Operation Dad, but I just felt that if you actually went to Peru, the story would have been stronger. And I felt that Ronnie would have learned a strong lesson in that sometimes you just got to let your parent do their own thing, like in Peru, all right? Like, that would have been great stuff, and it would have actually made the episode stronger. Like, and I still stand by it to this day. With episodes like this and episodes like Teacher Spread, those two episodes managed to prove me 100% correct about Operation Dad. Arturo should have went to Peru. He should have stayed in Peru where he belonged. And Ronnie Ann, like, honestly, Ronnie would be much better off spending 100% of her time with her actual real family, with her actual real parent, supportive parent, Maria Santiago, who, I'm just going to say it right now, we all know why she divorced him now. It actually makes perfect sense.
Damn, okay. I didn't expect this.
Because if you're going to value animals, over people, over your own human biological family, then I'm going to be honest with you, you honestly don't deserve to be part of their lives at all. You don't deserve to be, you don't deserve to spend any time with them in Great Lake City. You don't deserve to go to any events that do feature them. You don't deserve to be any family portraits of them. So honestly, after this, I'm just like, Arturo, please pack up your things and leave and take your godforsaken alpaca with you to Peru where you two belong.
So the thing here is that he might actually be in Peru. But to be fair, when Arturo actually sees the news and actually believes now that, Beto was the one that made all these pranks, all these things to Ronnie and Bobby, he made the whole hard decision for him to actually take Beto back to Peru. And I know that it's also a pretty sad moment, the fact that Beto and Arturo definitely had to like say goodbyes and all. But yeah, I think it was well deserved. I think they definitely really like to see him go.
Yeah, I'm with Ronnie and Bobby. I'm just like, bye-bye, or bye-bye,
like,
Beto.
Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. I fell with Ronnie and Bobby, okay? That I agree. That alpaca is the pest, and he's got to go away.
Definitely is. Oh, God. It was just a terrible, person for sure. So now we get to see, Beto leave, but you get to see Arturo pretty much be in a crying state. He literally was weeping behind some fishes. And yeah, it seemed that he definitely doesn't feel good, the fact that his alpaca Beto is going back to Peru and that he's kind of tearing up. And I'm like, do you really miss this alpaca, sir? What are your thoughts on him, literally being so sad that Ronnie and Bobby had to do something about it?
Oh, pardon me, folks. I'm just playing the world's smallest violin at the moment.
Oh God.
I'm currently playing the world's smallest violin because no, I'm not going to give any sympathy to Arturo. Neither he nor his pet alpaca deserve any of my sympathy at all. Okay, and second off, like, let me tell you something. Frida doesn't cry better. Okay, Arturo, you don't copy Frida's style.
He's been crying streams that literally fish is swimming through that right now.
You don't copy Frida. Okay, you just don't do that. At least with Frida, I do sympathize with her reasons. With Arturo, though, it's like, well, my pet alpaca's going away, even though he tormented and bullied my human kids like throughout like 5 days. This trip. Well, I'm just like, screw off, man. Just screw off. Like, honestly, if you miss your alpaca that much, then please, I do highly suggest that you kindly pack up your things and leave. Get in the confiscated boat with Beto. That way, you two can stay in Peru forever where you belong. And Ronnie and Bobby can spend their happy lives with their real families that actually do love and care for them. Everybody wins.
So the thing here is that because Bobby and Ronnie Ann actually did see their dad cry, they literally went onto the boat too and pretty much said, "Hey, can we bring Beto back?" And to say the least, like, I don't know how this lesson is at the end, but it just tells you, like, Bobby and Ronnie Ann are saying, like, let's settle our differences and let's become friends. Let's become like good friends to help our dad. So in the end, they're going to try to work each other out in order for them to actually have a good friendship between Beto the alpaca, Ronnie Ann, and Bobby. I don't think this lesson is actually a really good thing. Omid is already disappointed with this final scene. Omid, your thoughts on it?
No, okay? No. Absolutely not. I do not accept this ending at all. This is completely unacceptable. First off, you got the fact that it's Ronnie Ann and Bobby that feel bad and try to make things right with Beto? Are you kidding me? After everything they've been through, after everything that, Beto and indirectly Arturo put these two poor kids through, you have to have them apologize and make things right? No. This is writing 101, okay? Like there are ways you could have made this work. Like, first off, you could have had Beto. Beto is the one who should actually come down and apologize to Ronnie and Bobby for all he's been doing and manage to work it out. Okay. Second off, why could you have Arturo actually come to the conclusion that Ronnie and Bobby were right about Beto all along, and that Arturo and Beto should go their separate ways and all that stuff, right? And actually learn to be a decent father for once. And third of all, honestly, I'm just going to say this right now. Like, the moment Ronnie and Bobby see Arturo crying, I'm going to be honest, I would have loved to have them actually throw Arturo Arturo and Beto into the crate and actually throw the crate into, like, the deck of the boat. I just be like, "Au revoir, safe travels," and then Ronnie and Bobby like fist bump each other and be like, and like looking.
That's kind of messed up for kids to do it to their dad, though.
No, I don't care. Would you honestly think that it's even more messed up than anything that Arturo and Beto did in this episode? Like, honestly, it would have been 100% cathartic.
Arturo disrespecting his kids, yes. Beto definitely is a really bad alpaca. If anything, I would take away the alpaca. And yeah, I would really hope that Arturo does go back to Peru. But I mean, it seemed that the scene here, it seemed that all of them were going to go back to Peru anyways. So who knows? Maybe in the next episode for Ronnie and Bobby, you don't get to see Arturo anymore.
Like, oh my God. Like, honestly, the ending itself is so stupid. Like, oh, now they decide to go to Peru. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it actually makes the ending from Grub Snub look like a well-constructed ending.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a lot of things to talk about. Lots of things to say here, but no doubt. I mean, I don't know how. I know you were angry with this episode, but I didn't expect you to actually go on a full rant about this.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna say this right now. I haven't been this pissed. Excuse me. I haven't been this pissed off at an Casgrande episode since Gossipy Girl. I hated that much.
Wow, even since Gossipy Girl, My thing here is that I don't know. I got nothing much to say about this episode. All I know is that this definitely is disrespectful for a father to actually remember for his kids. Although I do like how Ronnie and Bobby tried to do whatever it takes to make sure that Beto does go away. It did work out in the end, but I do hate the ending considering that Ronnie and Bobby want to make amends with Beto and then for their father's sake. And I'm like, I don't like it. I feel like you should at least get Beto away from Great Lake City. Let him go back to Peru. If anything, Arturo can stay in Great Lake City. But Operation Dad's perspective, when he stayed in Great Lake City, we're kind of wondering like what kind of story will he have. And so far, it's been meh kind of stories till like this episode. So it's like, maybe we're not doing well with Arturo in Great Lake City.
Oh no! Like honestly, this episode is Arturo at his worst because he is so brain dead. He is so oblivious. He is so careless to his kids' needs that honestly, it makes me think, yeah, Arturo should have stayed in Peru for good. He should stay in Peru for good. And I am so glad that Maria divorced him. She deserves a much better man. She deserves a much better man.
Like, yeah, dang, for this one episode.
It may not be as bad as Gossipy Girl, but honestly, it's the second worst Casagrande episode I've ever seen. It is that horrendous.
I feel it for you, though. All right, so I got nothing else to say. I think you pretty much said a lot for Alpaca Lies. So let's go straight to our rating. So, Mead, what do you want to give it? A 1 out of 10?
Honestly, no. I rated Gossipy Girl a 2 out of 10. I'm going to rate Alpaca Lies a 2.5 out of 10.
What made the 0.5? What made it the 0.5?
What made it a 0.5 was that I did like the team up between Ronnie and Bobby. Plus, some of Bobby's lives were pretty funny. And also, Rosa like fangirling over Ernesto. Really nice touch. Other than that, it is a completely horrendous, like, so dumb. It is just so contrived. And it follows the Palfa Gary, everybody knows his Betty plot formula, beat by beat. And honestly, the ending is just one of the worst endings to a cartoon I've ever seen because it actually shows like the victims actually apologizing to their tormentor Beto. And honestly, just by the fact, I'm just like, okay, Arturo has learned nothing. Beto, you've learned nothing. Neither of you have learned a single thing in this entire episode. And yeah, honestly, Alpaca Lies is alpaca crap.
Yeah, I don't think this is a really good episode to say the least. I mean, if it was going to be an Arturo episode, it definitely didn't improve the character of Arturo. It looks like he was absolutely more possessive when it comes to the alpaca more than his kids. Considering that the alpaca, that literally the kids are talking to him and saying that the alpaca did this, the alpaca did that, and he doesn't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're a dad. You're supposed to be a fatherly figure. You don't really work that out with your kids. That sucks. I do like the whole thing where Ronnie and Bobby do work together. We never seen that, by the way. We never talk about how Ronnie and Bobby need to work together to make sure this alpaca doesn't, ruin their lives, to say. And I do like the fact that in the end they do end up, getting the alpaca home. But at the end, you also get to see the ending there where you get to see them try to work it out. And I'm like, if you didn't add that ending, maybe this would have been a better episode. But I don't know if I really would like to befriend an alpaca for your dad's sake, especially when an alpaca did all this kind of mean things to him. So if they were going to have another Casagrandes episode or something in the Loud House, I swear to God, like that alpaca better be like a well-behaved alpaca now, or else this just sucks. Like this definitely is a great. If he does continue, if there's a continuity thing and we do get to see the alpaca again, it just tells me that if he doesn't improve, it's gonna suck. It just tells me that. Well, I guess this episode really does say like, oh, this alpaca is a really terrible alpaca. I guess he'll continue to tease Ronnie and Bobby. Yeah, I don't know. This is just going to be all bad news because, say for example, Arturo still keeps that alpaca. Who knows if he's gonna do some revenge back again? I don't know. Like I said, it's just a toss up in the air. But now that we know that the alpaca is staying in Great Lake City, who knows? I mean, or maybe they go back to Peru because we remember they were going to go back to Peru possibly. Honestly, maybe they could keep Arturo there.
Honestly, I'd rather have a full season of Sergio episodes, much more than an appearance from that godforsaken alpaca ever again.
Yeah, I like I said, I didn't like this episode. I didn't like the ending. That's the reason why I kind of like think this down to a 6 out of 10. There, like I said, there are some ups and downs. I don't get that mean to episodes unless it gets really, really bad. Like say, for example, Ruthless People, which is like 3 out of 10 for me. But yeah, very bad episode for Alpaca Lies. Down the drain for me there. Really not a good episode. So I give it a 6 out of 10. Anything else you want to bring out of your chest before we move on to the next episode?
Nothing much I want to say is that, like, Arturo, honestly, dude, I hate you. Arturo,
wow.
I hate
already
you.
On that I hate you part here.
That's all I'm gonna say. You better improve in Day of the Dead, or else I'm gonna have even more words with you.
I don't even know what's the next Arturo episode that'll come in. I mean, we only have 4 episodes of Casagrandes left.
Well, I know Day of the Dead's coming to Loud House. So let's see how that goes. So
I thought that was a season 6 episode.
It's a season 6 episode. Yeah, it's coming like later on.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like the Casagrandes will come until season 7, right? Or are they actually coming into season 6?
The Casagrandes, appearances are coming like in season 6. Like Rosa's appearing in that one episode where he's a 9-side episode.
Okay. But like I said, it might be a little guest appearance like what Ronnie Ann did. Remember, and Don't You Forget About Me. So maybe something like that. But maybe not like that. I'm just waiting for full Casagrandes episodes happening in the Loud House, considering that we don't have the Casagrandes anymore. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to the next episode of this on this day of August 5th, called Rocket Plan. Synopsis here says Abuelo helps CJ build a rocket, but when things aren't going well, Abuelo tells a little fib to preserve CJ's feelings. Now, this episode begins with CJ telling Hector about the science project. Right before Spaceman on TV talks about how cool it is being in outer space. And I love this fact here where Hector actually encourages CJ to become to make that space rocket. So that's really an awesome thing for Abuelo to do. So what are your thoughts on this bond between Hector and CJ? Because I don't think we actually see this before, where Hector and CJ literally are working together to make a great science project for CJ.
Yeah, now that's an Abuelo right there. Like, I really do like Hector in this episode because he's so encouraging, right? Like he's pretty much encouraging CJ to follow his dreams, and he's also helping him to fulfill his dreams to build the rocket. Like, yeah, I really do like Hector in this episode. Okay, see, that is how you do a good father. Okay, that is what being a good father is all about. And he's a grandfather.
He's a grandfather, but then again, he raised Carlos and Maria, and look at them. Like, Carlos is the genius, and Maria is a nurse. Yeah. So to say the least, like, I'm seeing how Hector raises CJ, and when one of his relatives end up getting a problem, I love how grandpa-ish Hector could be. So he literally just goes up with CJ and says like, "Hey, I'm going to help you out," and in the end, they were going to work onto a rocket. So I do love this whole chemistry here between Hector and CJ. Now I'm just hoping that in the end they actually do break up that rocket. So when I first saw this, I'm like, awesome, we get to see Hector and CJ finally do something together, and then let's see what comes with this whole rocket thing that they're going to work on.
Yeah, no wonder CJ dressed up as Hector from the Halloween episode.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's right, because he wore his outfit actually, Curse of the was it the Candy Goblin?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we all know why CJ does respect and does cosplay as Hector now, because of moments like this.
Yeah, so no doubt about it. It just feels like CJ and Hector definitely have something going on. Now let's see how it all works out with the side project that CJ is trying to work on. Now, CJ and Hector work on this rocket, call it Casa. They find the ingredients to fuel up the rocket with like soda and mints. It does work out, but unfortunately it does fall down. So they're trying to do whatever it takes to make sure the rocket launches up into space, like, whatever astronaut does. So they do a lot of other things, like, feed Lalo some spicy food, and that didn't work. It's just really hard for CJ to actually launch the rocket. Explain your thoughts on like how CJ and Hector are trying to do their best to get this rocket into space.
Yeah, so they pretty much try to use soda, but that doesn't work. They try to use Lalo's farts, but that doesn't work. And they even try to have Mr. Inflatable tied to the rocket and have the rocket fly up the sky, but instead it flies back and crashes the Mercado. Like pretty much every plan falls flat on his face, unfortunately. And it's really sad too, because like I'm rooting for CJ because honestly, when you do look at the poor guy, when you look at the poor kid, like his whole class is very discouraging towards CJ. Like they sort of make fun of him, they put him down. It's like my heart weeps for him.
I just feel bad for CJ, considering that you're right about that, Obi, that he gets getting teased on when it comes to science projects and stuff like that. Just the fact that like all of his family is working to like supporting him and working on this rocket plan that he was trying to do, definitely really helped out his motivation and stuff. It does kind of suck considering that all this stuff that he's been doing when it comes to soda, was it Lalo eating something spicy, they all don't work out in the end. So I understand like his situation where it's like nothing can work right now. It doesn't work. Yeah. So to say the least, like nothing really has been working out. I mean, he even tried Mr. Inflatable, for example, to actually make the rocket launch as well. And that didn't work out either because it actually crashed into the Mercado. So to say the least, I understand like when it comes to CJ trying to get that rocket to space, and I understand Hector's kind of plan to do it, but it doesn't all work out in the end, and yet they need to do something about it. So yeah, not wanting CJ to lose faith in himself, Hector decides to actually buy a rocket, and disguise it to make it look like CJ's rocket. So they decide to give the rocket and try. I think they try to give the rocket a try, and Hector tells CJ he's using hot dog water to make it work. What are your thoughts on this? The fact that what is it like? Literally, Hector and Vito literally bought a rocket to like convince CJ that it's a rocket that's working for him.
Now, I do understand why Hector is doing this, and this is one of those cases where you pretty much lie for the greater good, because you do understand Hector's intentions behind this lie. He wants to make CJ feel encouraged. Like he wants to keep CJ going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This really does show that, though it is by dishonest means, it does show how much of a loving and caring grandfather he is towards CJ. Again, like the amount of fathering, the amount of being a good father, like honestly, the difference between this episode and the last episode, oh my goodness, it is night and day.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the lie, though? Like, he's literally lying to CJ, and I understand it's supposed to make CJ's, like, spirits up, considering that he was about to give up because of all the rockets that he's been launching, and it just doesn't work out. And in the end, they end up buying a rocket to make sure that, CJ's rocket actually works so that he can actually stay happy, that his project actually works.
Like I said before, I do like how Hector and Vito pretty much work hard to make sure, like they pretty much like go through like the details. They pretty much make it as detailed as possible to make it look like it's actually CJ's rocket, so that CJ doesn't tell the difference. It's like I like how it's a nice touch of how Hector really pays attention to CJ's rocket, like in terms of what it looks like.
Right. So it turns out the rocket actually does launch himself, but unfortunately that rocket actually got caught on by Hector. So literally Hector was pretty much stuck on the rocket, and that's when he had to actually confess to CJ that like this is a rocket that I bought. I'm so sorry, CJ. And then of course CJ kind of gets angry about it, but there's something more important than just being angry. You need to save your grandpa. So expect your thoughts on these scenes here where CJ needed to get everybody's help to get a rocket to actually help get a grandpa down.
I love it. The dude is such an MVP in this episode. Like he pretty much gathers the city together, and he pretty much like the whole crowd pretty much gets the different ingredients in order for them to pretty much build up CJ's real rocket and to have it come and save Hector. It is such a nice touch, and it really does. Well, this and also the fact that Hector also tells CJ that he also had to lie a bit, tell fib to both Carlos and Maria, both.
Oh
and
yeah,
that
I
helped.
forgot about that.
So I like the fact how
Yeah.
Hector did it to not only CJ, but he did it to Maria and Carlos as well, and he did it for like the good of Carlos and Maria, just like in this episode, he lied for the good of CJ, which I really do respect. Like
Okay,
both of these.
to be fair though, like lying to Carlos and Maria, wasn't that supposed to actually help them out in a way?
Like it was supposed to help them, encourage them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, right. But I mean, I understand the whole white lie thing kind of does make a little bit like kind of mean the fact that like you're lying to CJ, who is like your best, like one of your best sons or like your grandsons. But I mean, if you're telling me that Hector did the same thing when it comes to his kids, like Carlos and Maria, then maybe like when it comes to CJ, like it's supposed to help motivate him, and it does actually do that job. So even if it's a white lie that Hector does, it does help CJ out when it comes to making that rocket. But yeah, a lot of hair dryers, a lot of soda, and all that kind of stuff, and you actually do get to save your grandpa at the end.
It's awesome. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see.
So yeah, CJ successfully saves Hector and the two embrace. The rocket still goes out up into the outer space. It turns out that CJ did successfully launch that rocket into outer space. So also Hector is now dead on account of Rosa's deadly of the chicken. So your thoughts on this little ending here, where was it CJ's rocket actually does turn out going into space?
Oh God, I just loved it. It is so beautiful. I couldn't be more proud of CJ. He's such a lovable little dude, and just by the fact that like he managed to accomplish launching a rocket into space while also simultaneously saving his hero and grandfather. Like, oh my God, it is just touches my heart. And also, yeah, hey Hector, beware of Rosa's chancla, because let me tell you, you'll be getting a little chocolate smack right now. Let me tell you.
I mean, to be fair, he literally was hiding chicken the whole dang time. Literally on the couch, literally on the what was it? On the couch, literally in the Mercado, and then even like pretty much everywhere. I don't know where he ended up getting that chicken, literally in that scene, but it was in that scene where Rosa actually found out about Hector's like cheating of food or something like that. I mean, yeah, like honestly, like throughout the episode, you get to see Rosa saying like, I smell fried food. I smell fried food," and then she literally caught him literally in the bucket.
I like how Rosa was going like all Among Us on Hector. Like, Hector, you are sus.
Oh my God. Right. And then he literally just like stares at him while she goes away, that kind of stuff. So I thought that was pretty cute. But yeah, I mean, like in the end, was it CJ ends up getting a rocket into space, which was his goal. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like it was supposed to be a science project, and it turned out the science project actually ended up being the real thing. So where's the teacher in that? So he can actually get an A+. If anything, you could have done that.
Yeah, honestly, like I wanted to see the teacher actually witness this so that he could be like, CJ, you get an A+. Not only that, but you also immediately get a scholarship to NASA. You actually get hired by NASA on the spot. It's like that dude deserves it.
Who knows, man? I mean, he's got a lot of dreams. I mean, he was like loves to be Super CJ, for example. Then he also gets to do this like space stuff as well. Who knows? In the end, maybe he can become an astronaut. Who knows? I mean, the kid has a lot of dreams to say.
Yeah, honestly, because when you do think about it, Maria and Carlos have very successful careers in their lives. Like Carlos is a college professor, and Maria is a nurse, and they're both helped by Hector's contributions. Same thing with CJ here. So yes, I do say that kid has a bright future ahead of him. Like he becomes an astronaut, and he gets married to his wife Sadie, and then has kids. I'm just like,
who's Sadie again?
All right, for those who don't know, Sadie is the OC of Sunny Eclipse.
I see. Okay.
another OC shout out. Another OC shout out. What's up?
But they're not. Oh God. I gotta get you with what OC versus like the real Casagrandes are. Okay. Anyways, I got nothing else to say about Rocket Plan. Do you have anything else to bring up for Rocket Plan?
Nothing much I want to say except I kind of want to see not much. Like I kind of want to see CJ like actually be in space, like pretty much be like Apollo 13 or something like that.
I really hope so too, but I mean, then again, that could be probably in a future episode of the Casagrandes. We'll see.
If Homer Simpson could be in space, so can CJ.
All right. So how would you rate Rocket Plan?
I would also rate this a 9 out of 10. It's definitely one of the best episodes of season 3. It manages to capture the special grandfather and grandson bond that Hector and CJ really do have, and also this is one of CJ's best episodes. Like honestly, I would argue this is CJ's best episode to date because of how like he tries so hard, he works so hard to follow his dream, no matter how many attempts it takes, and all that stuff. And then you see how like Hector's fib can have some good intentions behind it, and the ending is just nothing short of beautiful.
No doubt about it. I definitely think it's definitely one of the better CJ episodes. No doubt about it. I mean, like, I feel like every CJ episode that we've been getting recently, like Spinoff, for example, it just gets better for CJ. And I just feel like the writers have known that CJ is definitely a main focus character, that he definitely needs some attention. And no doubt about it, it definitely shows in this episode. And for a CJ episode, it definitely just tells like a lesson to follow your dreams, and with your families, with a lot of guidance from everybody, it just tells you can do whatever your dreams can go afar. You can definitely do whatever you want. And no doubt about it, it just feels like CJ could possibly have a chance of becoming the next astronaut for the Casagrandes, but we'll see. A lot of things can happen for this kid. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 as well. I love it. I actually do like this episode. No doubt about it. We need more CJ episodes, if anything.
Exactly. We got an overabundance of Carl episodes for some reason. The problem with the Casagrandes is that like there's no balance between the focus of the character focused episodes. That's kind of the problem.
Well, I mean, they do have character focused episodes. I mean, you definitely had a lot of Ronnie Ann episodes. You have your Carlotta episodes, you get your Frida episodes, which we reviewed last time. If anything, and then you also do have secondary characters having their own stories as well. I mean, but Unstoppable for Ronnie Ann, for Sid and Adelaide. So, I mean, there's your secondary characters having their episodes. So I'm happy that they actually are doing that. But yeah, I mean, some of the Casagrandes family does need some love as well. No doubt about it. CJ definitely does have that. CJ definitely does have those episodes. I mean, Carl definitely has up and down episodes. And then you also get Bobby and Ronnie Ann and Carlotta having their episodes as well. No doubt about it. I just feel like every Casagrande family is doing, I mean, the writers doing whatever it takes to get the Casagrande family to have their love and respect, before they get canceled.
Yeah, and let me tell you, after the steaming pile of alpaca crap I saw,
oh god,
it's nice that this episode launched my spirits all sky high.
At least this makes it happy for an ending, unlike a little rant like we did back in Gossipy Girl, because that was the last episode that we had to review for that video.
Yeah. Don't you remember? You remember how it all turned out, right, guys?
Yeah.
We managed to go mad over
it. Again, on me going all ranty and all. I'm like, oh man, here we go again.
It's called speaking the truth, my friend.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, that's pretty much it for our episode reviews here for the Casagrandes. We only have one more episode reviews for the Casagrandes, and those are the last 4 episodes of the Casagrandes. That's the sad part about it, guys, that we have one more episode review show for the Casagrandes, and that's coming up real soon, considering that it's going to air at the end of September. So
and this is where we go from loud Casa talks to loud house talks.
It's gonna be loud. It's just Loud House. Yeah, it's just gonna be Loud House talks, I guess. Oh, I hate it. I need to change the name now. I don't like it.
No, it's like I'm gonna miss having talking about Loud House and Casagrandes, because they're 2 hit shows, and it's one of those rare instances. Like, it's one of those instances where a Casagrandes manages to be just as just as good as its original series. It's sort of like how Better Call Saul is to Breaking Bad, especially, and House of the Dragon currently is to Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, though, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities for the Casagrandes, then you cancel it now. We're now leaving a big hole what the Casagrandes are going to do. I guess they're going to be in the Loud House now. But just gives just gives our plans kind of wondering, like, are we going to continue Loud Casa Talks? Or are we just going to keep on saying Loud Talks or Loud House Casa Talks? I don't know. It's a lot to think about now.
Like, honestly, yeah, honestly, I'll just be like, yeah, get ready for those episode titles where Cars is going to say XYZ with the Casa Grandes.
Well, we don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, thank you all for checking out today's live stream. For those who are going to be watching on YouTube, thank you for checking out the video. Remember that you guys can listen to the Loud Casa Talks podcast on all podcast providers from Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, where our episodes are there for you to listen to. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, make sure you hit that red button to subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll be notified whenever we'll be coming on next. Now, I want to let you guys know. Oh, sorry. Also, if you guys are watching on Twitch, make sure you also hit that follow button. Go to twitch.tv/LoudCasaTalks and follow us. We're trying to hit our goal of 50 followers. And once we hit 50, we'll go do something big for that. So, yeah, please follow our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LoudCasaTalks. Now, obviously, we're going to D23 next week, which means that we're not going to have a show next week, guys. So do not worry. We're going to take a break because we're going to a convention for D23 next week. But the week after that, we're going to go back and do more episode reviews with the Loud House episode reviews that came out on the 29th. Oh, sorry, July 29th and August 5th, and just this Labor Day, which means that we're going to be reviewing Hiccups and Downs, which is the Luna episode of Hiccups. The Loathe Boat, we get to see one of the Morticians Club's members again. We get to see Crash Course. We get to see Lori possibly fail in college. And we also get to see a Stell performance, which is the one Stell episode I can't wait to review. So get ready for that. We're going to be reviewing all of those episodes in 2 weeks. We'll be back on the 21st of September. So mark your calendars for that. We'll be back on the 21st.
Yeah, let me tell you, one of these episodes is going to be, it is quite a Stella episode.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I got a lot to say about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for us here. Thank you all for checking out this episode of Loud Casa Talks. Again, my name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And until next time, smell you later, Casa crew.
All right. Hey, Omid, let's get out of Royal Woods and Great Lake City. Let's go straight to D23. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see Mickey Mouse all over again. Woohoo. All right. Bye, guys.